Hi everyone, welcome to this week really market update. So as usual, let's see what happened on the last week and especially on last Friday. And then we'll be talking about what's coming up for the next week, things to take note on. And before I go into it, please remember to share my page, like my Facebook page, like my YouTube link, so you will get the latest those video which I make. Because sometimes might not be sharing out. Just create on the video itself. Um, just to be fair to those who actually has following on me instead. All right. So what happened on last Friday itself, right? We can see that last week, as I mentioned, is actually a heavy data on the economy news. So last Friday closing on the most major, I think, limelight is actually on the non-farm payroll and the unemployment rate, right? Just by Friday itself. So we can see that Dow actually closed near flag line on Friday after the job report miss, and this is a very big missing compared to the so-called to their forecast result. We can see that I think the September job itself, right, is not very good. We can see that it's around 100 plus thousand. Yes, you see. So the non-farm payroll rose by 194,000 as compared to the estimation of coming into 500,000. So it's a huge miss on Friday itself. But the thing is that even though it's a huge miss, right, the market, the indices did not drop uh, badly on Friday itself, because why, it give a mixtures sentiments to the market itself. All right. Firstly, bond tapering will still proceed even though with this huge miss of data. All right, even with this huge miss of data, I think that tapering will still be going through. Right now, they are more focused on whether the follow-up interest rate hike will come into play or not. All right, but however, a lot of people actually, what is the most uh, most sector that actually rose the most on last week itself is actually the oil sector, the energy sector. We can see the energy sector is actually the best performing on last week itself. So basically, why? Because we know that oil crosses the $80 per barrel on Friday itself. It's the first time since 2014. All right, so this I have been emphasized on oil might be going up, might be going up. Why? Because since after the COVID cases, everything come back, airline come back, cruise come back, holiday come back, uh, vaccine or vaccinated. That's why oil is needed. All right, not just oil itself. I believe right now, if you pay attention on the commodities, one of the greatest spike is actually on the net gas. All right, on the natural gas. So net gas usually on the November to January, usually it will spike higher comparing to past 10 years of result. Mostly it's spike higher based on the ratio itself. So I did net gas in 2020 last year video when I just start on this weekly update. So if you have been following, if let's say you pay attention, you should take note on that as well. So that is what happened on last Friday. So even though the non-farm payroll data does not come in greatly, is a huge miss, but on the good side, all right, on the good side is actually the unemployment rate, because it fell way below 4.8%, better than the expected of 5.1%. All right, so more people coming to the job itself, so which is a good thing. All right, unemployment rate for lower. All right, next thing. So of course, last Friday, or I think it's last Thursday, there's a huge spike on the market itself. Thursday is a close of green itself, right? That is because of this debt ceiling. Is although it's a postpone, all right, they extended, postponed until the uncertainty to December. But the good thing is that because they actually passed a short-term bill itself, I think it's 400 plus billion. Yes, all right. So the Senate deal, the authorized of 480 billion increase to the debt limit. So this is just a temporary, which is a good thing, lah. I mean, it's a good to the market sentiments. All right, so it actually causes the market to spike up on Thursday itself. But ultimately, on the TA wise, I will explain on the perspective. So for this coming week, things to take note on is actually we are heading into the third quarter of the earnings reports. All right, earnings reports is supposed to be a good Stella's earnings seasons. So take note, it actually stated that um, even though the weak price action overcome the surging of the oil price, disappointing job report but the investor is still investing into the bank and energy shares last week itself. All right, so they are expecting that for this coming third quarter, right? Mainly the third quarter earnings are expected to rise to 27.6% year over year, and a lot of companies actually giving good uh giving good reports, good guidance saying that they might be doing good. All right, expect a solid earnings result. But if let's say the result is not what they expected, this might cause another way around or otherwise. Correct or not? So we start off with the bank sector of the earnings report, like JP Morgan's, uh, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, all this, and Citigroup, all this. So we'll slightly take a look where are they standing at right now based on the chart later. And not only that, the first airline report, Delta Airline, is also very concerned on how are they performing. People worry on this thing, the Delta variant again, or they are can't wait to travel for now. If based on current perspective, I believe can't wait to travel overwhelm the uh Delta variants cases at this point of time. All right, people can't wait to spend their money, can't wait to travel. All right, so let's go into the chart already. This is on Dow Jones Index. So on Dow Jones Index, I mentioned previously, the price will be dropping, waiting for the 200 days moving average to catch up. Eventually, the price came very close to 33,500 as per my mentions. So I also text on the Telegram group. Please watch out if you manage to short on the short terms. This is a day chart. If let's say you are looking at 4 hour hourly, right, definitely there's potential mid for you to enter. And the price actually spiked upward, like I say, is because of the temporary debt ceilings increase. So right now, right, is the market going to the bullish right now? I'm saying, we have to watch out 35,000 carefully. If the price able to penetrate 35,000, close above it, it seems like a good bullish sentiments. But if let's say you're able to take out all-time high, then it will actually break even higher. All right, take the all-time high, which is around 35,500, then it will break even higher. Of course, people is right now waiting for the earnings report for the coming week. They'll watch on the finance sector to give their first highlight, the first direction where the market goes to. All right, so this is on Dow Jones Index. So next thing to watch out for, okay, before we go in, is actually on the bonds, US 10 years Treasury yield rate. So look look at a bigger time frame. Let's watch on the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, I dropped previously, yeah, draw many. All right, I say that interesting level. Watch out, this is on July, 50%. So it touches the base of the Fibonacci, it touches the 50%. All right, supported, never go down, and it continues spike higher. So I think if let's say you know the correlation, if let's say bond rate go higher, because bond is used to be a safe haven, right? If let's say they pay higher rate, people will actually rotate or shift their money from the equity market to the bond safe haven market. All right, so if let's say this is spiking higher, uh, if this is spiking higher, stocks continue to spike higher, one-sided might be temporary just high. All right, one-sided might be just temporary high at this point of time. That means cannot be both high. You get what I'm trying to say? If let's say bond continue to go higher and higher and higher because they expect that the interest rate height of the interest rate might go through, bond will go higher. Yes, U rate will go higher. Uh, Equity may come down. All right. So there is a correlation in between these both. So both go higher, then you might be careful. Must watch out from there. All right. So this is on the U rate itself. Where will I be looking at? I would see that you will definitely take back on 1.7. So we'll see what happened. This is on weekly chart. We'll see what happened. Right now we are at a zone, resistance zone. All right, between 1.6, 1.55 to 1.7 is the resistance zone. We are based on weekly chart. We close in the resistance zone right now. All right, so I think it might revisit this all-time high once again. Okay, so watch out on the U rate, 10 years U rate. Next, last week, a lot of shares have a lot of movement, but one sector which actually caught my attention is actually those Chinese shares itself. All right, right now I believe Biden's and the China presidency is actually have some meeting ongoing. So and China A50 has been well supported, trading the range between 15,000. Based on just last 2 days or 3 days, the market closed even higher. So this is a good news for China A50. This 15,000 is a very good resistance turn support line. All right, it's a very significant 15,000 resistance turn support line. So you manage to catch it is good, but if you miss it, it's still not far fetched from there. Wait from some rebound, and then you can buy. Anything go below this all-time low since the July, that is where your stop loss should be. All right, so this is the view for China A50. Otherwise, it should continue to revisit the 16,500 point. All right, for China A50, next we will move in into a certain particular shares like I want to share. Firstly, since we are talking about China shares, China's A50, we will talk about China's related shares. Firstly, I'm going to directly go into Hong Kong market. So Hong Kong market, the equity dialect is actually Tencent. All right, so for Tencent, Tencent right now, based on the chart, if let's say you look at the weekly chart, right, it's also fall on the support, resistance turn support. All right, used to be resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support. Come down, revisit, support. All right, supported by the 200-day moving average as well. Right now, the price go back based on the Fibonacci retracement, touches 23.6%. Right now, going return back to 38.2%. This is the weekly chart. The weekly chart. All right, it's a weekly chart, so we have to give more time frame for it to fluctuate in between. All right, so if let's say you like Tencent is a very good company. A very well diversified company. If you like anything that break below 400 or $400, the whole significant level, it may continue to drift down. Otherwise, it's a very good counter for you to put in your watch list to monitor from there. All right, if you want to nimble, remember straight stop loss should be here. All right, next counter, Baba. All right, we know that what happened to those Chinese shares has been plunging badly because of Chinese regulation stepping in. Of course, you would like to have a very fixed, confirmed news or confirmation from the government before you go into the Chinese sector. But sometimes risk give you good reward as well, right? It's ultimately how you believe the company itself. Whether will Baba or those good company like Tencent able to ride through this period of times. All right, so if based on Fibonacci level from the swing low to the swing high since 2016 to swing high in 2020, we can see that the price retraced back, all right, sharply, penetrate 38.2% right now. It actually forming a engulfing, all right, for the past 2 weeks based on this green candle. It's an engulfing with a decent volume. Right now, we are actually trading on the 38.2%. So right now, I shall say that Baba will be hovering between this area. If this area is able to hovering for within the next 1 or 2 weeks or a few days, here will become a significant support level, and then you will just ride through. So it's the same thing. You get what I'm trying to say right now? So if for people who believe in Baba, not believe in Jack Ma, all right, believe in Baba, this company structured, then you may consider to monitor closely. You should be hovering around this area. All right. So that is my view for Baba. I'm looking more on the upside. Next thing is actually Ping An, Hong Kong shares again. It's an insurance company. All right, for Ping An, right? Let's take a look at the weekly chart. All right, so drop crazily, sharply. All right, crazily and sharply. Right now, rebound back. So we just put here as a first support the resistance line. Here is the first support line. All right, so can you see that very significant? Sometimes you just drop at the very significant levels. All right, so if let's say this one breakthrough 40.85 breakthrough, then it may continue to drift lower. All right, otherwise this is a very significant support. So where will we be looking at? I mean, if you want, you can just draw from here to here. So sorry. All right, so we will. Give me a second. Okay, so first one we will be looking at the first resistance level 23. So it's quite near $61.25, and then if let's say you're able to break higher, we shall be looking at the next moving average, which is the 100 days. All right, waiting for the 100 days. All right, so this is what I'm looking at, around between 23.6 or 38.2%. You should be hovering around this area. All right, so that is my view for Ping An. Let's remove all the rubbish. Hold on. All right, so that's my view for Ping An. People who are into Hong Kong market, you may just put into your watch list and monitor. All right, next counter we'll be looking at back to the US counter. First is Las Vegas. I mentioned this last week. All right, Las Vegas at a very good support area, even though the price has been, I mean, for the indexes itself has been hovering up and down, right? This is quite stable. All right, so right now, what are we looking at for Las Vegas? It's actually forming a very minor, decent, ascending triangle. Do you see that? All right, it's forming a very decent ascending triangle, or someone will say inverse flag. All right, but yes, it might be an inverse flag, but ultimately the first thing is to take note of the bigger picture. This is a very good support area. All right, if here able to break out, yes, it's a good thing. Your resistance, your stop loss is just somewhere below. If you come down, your losses is just limited, but your profit is upside. You get what I'm trying to say? Nah? So based on risk reward, I will be more biased on the upside, and we are coming to the end of the year holiday. People want to go holiday, right? I think Las Vegas is one of the tourist spots as well. All right, so this is how I look on Las Vegas. So on the weekly basis, let's take a look. I talked about this previously. I say you'll come down. Right now, I think you're right back. Okay, I talked about this last week. If you can't, if you didn't watch my video, go back to the YouTube to see what happened, what I spoke on last week. All right, so I said reached a major support area. All right, so it's a good price zone for you to nimble into it. All right, that's my view for Las Vegas. It remained upside. Next is actually on let's take a look. Okay, since we are flying, we should be looking at DAL. Just like I mentioned, Delta Airline, right? So Delta Airline also has been talking about it. So there's a decent after the breakout, decent pullback. All right, so this is used to be a very good support area, become resistant. Right now, it's still hovering within this blue color this line. Let's remove this thing first. All right, so it still hovering between this line. All right, I say that the market will pull back, it go up, pull back. Right now, we'll see where will it go. Of course, if he able to, if it really drop below $37, all right, if it really drop below $37, this whole bullish structure will not play in part. All right, this is a very good pivot point. $37 is a pivot point. Break below 37, you'll be going lower and lower. All right, so we will see. But for me, I'm bullish on the airline at this moment because everyone want to travel. All right, of course, which airline should you go in? Then you have to be selective. All right, you have to be selective. Next counter, I'm going into QS, which I mentioned. All right, QS. Okay, watch out. I say flag pull, target remain 32. So flag go up, pull. All right, it been play on the gap. Take a look. There's a gap here. Correct. So the price come back to the gap, close the gap, bounce back. All right, so watch out for this. If let's say you're able to close above this 24.50 next week, then it's a good sign of you to enter. All right, if you're able to break 24.50, good sign for you to go long. All right, please remain strict stop loss, because this has been like a so-called anti-trend purchasing. You are actually picking up where the trend just start changing. So when you pick up this kind of the beginning stage of the trend changing, right, it can be very volatile. Right, so watch out. All right, lastly, just step into the last counter today. I will be going to Singapore counter. It's SIA. All right, SIA. Why SIA? Because Singapore released a lot of um just implement that they allow vaccinated travel, all right, to many countries such as US, UK, all these. All right, so based on the chart itself, I think for SIA, if you really like it, it's a good for you to pick it up. Right now, if you break $5.20, it can break the bullish. All right, it will continue to be bullish. So watch out for SIA. People who like travel line, you believe vaccinated. All right, if you are Singaporeans, if you are residing in Singapore, you know what Minister have been saying. We will be living together with COVID. All right, so this is a very good ascending triangle. All right, very good ascending triangle from here to here. All right, so if you break below, then break below here, that is where it might drift lower. But I have higher confidence that it might go higher. All right, so SIA used to be a Singapore glory. I would like this airline. If for me to pick it out, I will pick out here. Yes, Singapore shares move slow, but slow and steady. All right, so that is my view for this week. Hopefully, you guys enjoy my video. Remember to share and like. That's all. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.